Right, here I am. Yeah, Chris, I'm back at Lings, Ipswich, yeah. Honda dealers and Suffolk Triumph. Yeah, marvellous. Oh, I'm not on the Hornet, you know that. Look at this. Bad boy. Yeah. Honda CBR650R. Marvellous. Clock. Brr, ding. There you go. Anyway. Oh, get that mirror sorted out straight away. Still no good. There we go. Right. Oh, into gear. Right, let's get going. Oh, listen to it. Oh, this baby wants to go. It's marvellous. Right, so let's get going and we'll get nattering about it. Right, so what have we got? Well, a very interesting bike. Obviously comes in the naughty category. Yeah, we've got mirrors a million miles away. Yeah, just try and get that adjusted up a bit. That's perfect. And now I've got to adjust the other one. You can do it on the fly. That's alright, excellent. And there we go again. Oh, too quick. Crikey, gotta watch this one. Now, what baffles me about this is this compared to the Hornet, it's 50 cc's less, and it's an R. It only produces 3 brake horsepower more, but the difference is this does so at about 12,500 revs. Yeah, whereas the Hornet does it at about 9,000 revs or 9,500 revs. But what I can tell you straight away is the handling on this is superb. Yeah, it is. Look at that. And I'll get the visor down a little bit. In fact, we'll have it down all the way. Why not? Of course, I can tell you it is blowing a hoolie today. Yeah, 40 mile an hour winds. I know, crazy, isn't it? But I've got this fairing which seems to be blowing just under my chin, which is fine. I don't mind that, as long as it's not round my head. I can't stand that. Whoa, that brrr, buffeting around your head. But what we'll do is a bit of dual carriageway onto the Washboard Road and then the Suffolk Road. Stop, have a little look, little walk round, and back down those little twisties and back up the dual carriageway and back to Lings. Yeah, marvellous. I've got to say, I do like this. I think this is about £8,500, something like that. So £1,500 more. It's pretty basic in terms of equipment, but that's how you want it if you want a naughty boy bike, isn't it? Engine smooth as anything and pretty comfy, I've got to be honest. For a naughty boy bike, pretty damn comfy. Fair bit of weight on the wrists. I think it's the sort of bike that likes to scream a lot. Yeah, I do. I think it's a bit of a screamer. Not quite in the same category as the 765 Triumph, but you know, if you were progressing on your way up to something as lunatic as that machine, it'd be good. Handling, I can just tell, is going to be spot on, but you do have to rev it. That's what I would say. Yeah, it's not as a laid back ride as the Hornet, no. But for a lot of people who don't like this naughty boy position, they wouldn't want it as uncomfy as this. They'd prefer the Hornet, I think. Here we go. Oh, it is like it's on rails. But of course, this category of bike, this was, and I still think is the proper naughty boy size of bike. Whoa, that wind really catching me there. Goes all right, doesn't it? It's quite buzzy. So it is a bike for the B-roads, I think. B-road bike. Yeah. Especially if it's windy, like it is today. It is pretty good value for money, I think. You know, you're getting the fairing. And all that lot. Not many electronics, but you're not paying a huge amount of money for it. No quick shift or anything like that, but you're getting a bike that sits on the road just perfect. Suspension, not sure, to be honest. Seems pretty decent, whatever it is. It seems like it's going to rain. That Rosa put me off. Couldn't find the indicator as well. That's not a good sign, is it? So we'll take it nice and steady, because there's litter pickers down here, look. Maybe that's what the Rosa was doing. Flood apparently. So this road, as you know, very bumpy. That's why it's called the Washboard Road. So we'll see how it goes. Thinking there's another gear. That's how hard you have to rev it. Suspension is pretty decent. Yeah, it's riding that really, really well. So a little bit jerky, but the bike doesn't move. It just rides over it, which is what you want, isn't it? Gives you a bit of confidence in it. And then we're down onto the Suffolk Road. Lovely sound, 4 cylinders. Sometimes you just can't beat it, can you? I don't know whether the indicators are self-cancelling, but I am remembering to turn them off, so that's alright, isn't it? So this just feels excellent, really does. Oh, we've got a car coming. 2 cars. And then we're on the proper Suffolk Road, where we know we've got cars, big people, small people, horses, bicycles, and as you know, fridges, mattresses and all sorts, potholes galore, gravel, mud, not its natural habitat, I wouldn't say, but we'll see how it goes. Throttle's dead responsive, obviously, because your revs are much higher than on many of the other bikes that I ride. We've got a car coming, so I'm gonna have to slow down to let him pull in. Oh, he's pulled in there, marvellous. Thank you, sir. And just up here, we'll stop and have a little walk round. Yeah, just here. But there's the cycles. So we had cars and everything else, didn't we? So let's have a look. See what this baby is all about. Yeah, marvellous.
Wow.
Side stand down. And over it goes. And let's just have a little look at it, because it's classic naughty boy. I'm sure you know, you'll have seen lots of them about. So there we go. Absolutely marvellous. Right, so here we are. Look at that. Classic naughty boy bike, isn't it? Absolutely. Fairing, low down. Oh, it's just marvellous. Twin brakes on the front. Those Nissan brakes again that we saw on the Hornet. Nice fairing. It's just classic, isn't it? Classic naughty boy. 4 into 1 pipe. That little 650 engine that revs, really does like to rev. Exhaust low down there, makes a nice noise. Not loud like we're used to. And this almost looks like a spine at the back, doesn't it? Look at that. Yeah, marvellous little seat for Mrs. TAYM. Those little pegs, scrapers underneath the pegs, that's marvellous. No centre stand, of course, wouldn't expect it on a naughty boy bike like this. And those nice wheels with the trims, yeah, just so conventional, I think. Showy forks on the front, do the job well, yeah, do the job well, don't need no more. That's about it. So yeah, Honda CBR650R, yeah, 2 R's like I like, you know, R, but separated by numbers. Marvellous. Let's get one more little look at it from here. God, it's just lovely. Yeah, surprised me a lot. Right, here we are, back on board. Yeah, senses test. Look at the clock. Brrr, lots of numbers, lots of things. Yeah, there we go. Oh, straight into life. Oh, it just sounds marvellous, doesn't it? Yeah, so we'll crack on. Oh, it's just lovely. Very short in the gears, obviously, and now we're into real bumpy country, and it'll really test that showy suspension. And nice bump there. Onto the taste. What would this taste of? Well, I don't know. Look at it. I mean, I think it could be a sour cherry. Yeah, I think it could. Something that makes you go, ooh. Yeah, because it could make you do that. It makes you feel a little bit like that, I reckon. So yeah, so that's taste, but I'm not actually going to taste it. If it was a dog, I reckon it would be some form of terrier, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah. And touch to feel, it's Honda, so it's pretty decent. Yeah, very good quality. Everything feels solid, and where it should be. The only thing is, I couldn't find the indicators because they're sort of hidden behind a big horn button. Yeah, I don't know if Honda drivers use, or riders should I say, use their horn a lot. But yeah, everything, all the switchgear feels just fine. And we know that they're last Hondas, don't we? So that's touch to look at. Well, classic naughty boy bike, isn't it? Classic naughty boy bike. I can't say more than that. It's how a naughty boy bike looked in the 80s and the 90s and the noughties, and now, yeah. So if you don't like sports bikes, you won't like the look, but if you do, it's not offensive. Yeah. Sound, well, it's 4-cylinder. It's marvellous, isn't it? It's what we used to dream of. When I moved from 2 strokes to 4 strokes, that's what I liked, and I reckon with a pipe on it, it would sound just Jim Dandy. Yeah, I don't know who Jim Dandy was, by the way, but I seem to remember it being said. So yeah, smell. It's a new bike. It smells absolutely fine. No smell of petrol, no smell of oil or hot water or anything like that. Just hot metal and plastic, as you'd expect. Then we get onto the sixth sense, don't we? How does it make me feel? It makes me feel naughty. Good fun. If the weather were better and I had more time, I reckon I could have a real hoot with this down the back roads, if it wasn't so damn windy, because the wind does keep catching you. I did do a circuit before this mutter now. Yeah, I did. I tried to give it a bit more, and there was one corner where the wind really caught me, and almost lifted me up a bit. But there you go. That's life, isn't it? It's real life if you ride all year round. I wouldn't not go out for a ride if it was windy, and therefore it's important how it behaves in all conditions for me, and this bike behaves impeccably. And I always find it a bit rude to overtake another motorbike. I don't know how you feel about it. Not so bad on a big open road, but when we're like going from here to the roundabout, I don't like to do it. I like so. Yeah, I always get back to business time, for God's sake. So what have we got? Right, we've got the clock, which is, I've discussed it on the Hornet, it's very similar. I think this is a nicer clock, to be honest. I prefer this one than the Hornets. We've got mirrors a million miles away, antlers or antennae. We've got this fairing which does something, not sure quite what. Just looking at that Tiger back wheel, it's a bit squared off. Yeah, but that's what they're for, isn't it? Doing a lot of those flat miles. We're off. Sort of clip-ons, I reckon the clip-ons, that type of thing going on, that are not too uncomfortable. No. The brakes clutch is light as a feather, gearbox dead easy, but all these things you'd expect from a Honda anyway. Brakes, like I say, Nissan, how do you say it? Is it Nissan or Nissan? I don't know. Nissan brakes anyway, just absolutely fine. How they would perform on a real good hot ride down the back roads, on and off, I don't know, but general riding, if you're quick and they're cool when you apply them, they work just absolutely fine. Of course, as well, because of the engine, because of the 4-cylinder, you do have quite a lot of engine braking too. You know, the throttle is so sensitive, you shut the throttle off and it's like, right, slow down straight away. So you do have to keep the revs up. But that makes a bike fun, doesn't it? So it would be a fun bike. Could I commute on it every day? Yeah, of course you could. I'm sure there's thousands of people commuting on these. The engine noise, it reminds me of a dog I once had. When anyone came to the door, it would growl initially, you know, bark quite, and then if you told it to be quiet while you're talking to the person at the door, it'd stand behind you going all the time, and that's what the engine reminds me of. Yeah, marvellous. So yeah, comfort wise absolutely fine. On the short ride I've had, it feels like it's not as extreme, believe it or not, as the W800. No, feels perfectly acceptable, and I can do lots of miles on that. So yeah, comfortable. But this is the reality, isn't it? Regardless of how naughty it can be when there's no traffic about, we have traffic and speed limits. The handling on it, I've got to say, I know I keep going on about it, but it is so well balanced and just goes exactly where you want it. Yeah, which means you could probably get out of trouble if you got into trouble as well with it, if you know what I mean. It is a bike where you could use all the power, that's for sure. A little bit like the Trident and the Hornet. And of course Suzuki's SV650, let's not forget that. Is it as quick as the Triumph 765? No, of course it's not. Of course it's not. And for one thing, it's 765's got 100 more horses, not horses, cc's, and it's got about another 40 brake horsepower. Yeah, so of course it's not. It feels, everything works as it should for its capabilities, and that's the same for the Triumph 765, except I never went to the extent of its capabilities. No, because I'd probably kill myself. Yeah, but it is a bike that you could definitely have a blast on. If you like high revving bikes, this could be the bike for you. Yeah, 8.5 grand, it's not a lot of money, is it, for a sports bike? And there's a lot of people out there saying it's not a proper sports bike. Well, I think it is. I think you could have a laugh down the back roads. And I've been watching a few videos recently where they've got like 300cc motorbikes going around the track with some big bikes, and they leave the little bikes on the straights. As soon as it gets to the twisties, they're being overtaken. Of course, it's all down to our own capabilities, isn't it? And I think this Honda will be within most people's capabilities. Yeah, I do. The 765, I'm not sure about. I think if you're lacking any ability, you're going to find out. So I wouldn't go for that. I'd go for this. Got to take it back now. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I have. Yeah, lovely bike, lovely sound, lovely smell. I like the colour. It's bright and cheerful, and I like bright and cheerful, and I hope that's one of my aims is to bring a little bit of light, cheery humour to everybody. There we go. Back at PFK Lings. Yeah, Honda. Into neutral. There we go. Dead easy. Side stand down. Engine off. Let's have a look. Yeah, here we are. Honda PFK Ling CBR650R. No centre stand, but I'm not bothered. It's a marvellous bike. Yeah, excellent.